bad of a DM could it have been for her to instantly block this dude and delete him immediately?
Oh my gosh, I got so much hot tea from my friend a couple of days ago. So I have this really close friend that just moved to a new city. So me and her are constantly talking back and forth, talking about, the ups and downs of moving and stuff. And she brought this dilemma to me that I wanted to bring to you guys because I'm the only one that's not in a serious relationship. And she needs some genuine advice on how to handle something that happened that she's not sure if it's the right thing to do, if she should tell her husband or if it's better to keep it a secret and kind of keep the peace. It's a little tricky. So
you know how I feel about this. There is no such thing as keeping the peace. That just means that we both don't know what's going on, but there's no peace in that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you may think it's more important to be 100% transparent, but if after this story, you may feel a little different. So she's been married to her husband for a couple of years and it's, going really well. The marriage is great. She's loving it. And, of course, before you meet your person, you are going to date around. And at one point in her life, she had gone out with this dude once. We'll call him Charlie. So she goes out with Charlie once. It's not a match. She never talks to Charlie again, but they do follow each other on social media. They had a couple classes together in college, I think. So, of course, she's not just going to unfollow him out of nowhere. So long story short, years pass, she gets married to her husband, and then Charlie at some point gets married to some other chick. We don't know. We're not really following that close. But, now they're both two happily married grown adults. So to her shock and not delight, a couple of weeks ago, she got a DM from Charlie. And she was like, this is very weird. This has been years at this point, 5-6 years. And they're both married at this point and have had no contact since then. So in this DM, he says something like he's kind of flirting with her and she ignores it. And then she gets a video from him, which is jarring, to say the least, from somebody that you went on a singular date with 5 or 6 years ago. But of course, she's a little curious. She's going to open it. She's like, what has this man got to say to me? It is an X-rated video of him. You can decide to put whatever visual you want to have in your mind. It is a personal video of just him doing something X-rated.
Okay.
And she is shocked. She's like, I talked to this man for 45 minutes at a bar when I was 21 once. Why did he think that this would work on me if he wanted to start an affair? Also, he just posted his wife yesterday, so I'm assuming she doesn't know about this.
Dude, the ick is through the roof.
The ick is through the roof. So she, of course, does the right thing, blocks, deletes him, gets him out of the DMs. Of course, she wants nothing to do with this guy. But she's like, because I know that I don't want anything to do with this man, and I know that I didn't ask for that, didn't want that, didn't want to talk to him, and I blocked and deleted him and got him out. Is it better to keep that information to myself and not tell my husband and freak him out? Because if I know if he did the same thing and mentioned it to me, I might start filling in the blanks as to why would he think it's okay for him to send that video to you. So is it the right thing to do to keep it to yourself, or do you give 100% transparency in the hopes that your husband will realize that you're trying to do the right thing and keep him in the loop?
I have a very similar story to share later on in the week, where it's a question of, do I say something or do I not say something here?
Does it do any good to say anything?
I don't know. In a case like this, do you say something? Is that the question here?
That's literally the question. Yeah. And I didn't know how to answer it because I've never been in that position to where I'm like, well, as your friend, I'm like, I know you didn't want him to send you that video. But at the same time, I guess the right person in my mind is like, well, you're supposed to be transparent about this stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm going to say something because it's coming from a safety point of view. This guy, after 5 years, and we went on one date, and he sends me a grotesque video of him doing things to himself, that's going to freak me out. And that's going to put me on watch. And the person I'm going to need by my side is my husband. So that would freak me out. And if I get freaked out by something, I'm going to tell my husband.
If he's sending this to her 5 years later after one date, she is not the only one.
I'm sure she's not.
I'm sitting here thinking, if I were the guy, would I want to know? And if she was afraid, that's different. If you're afraid, then yes, like Kristen said, I think you should say something. If she's
creepy,
not
man.
If she's not afraid and she feels like it's a genuine, like she blocked him, it's a wrap, it will never happen again, I wouldn't say anything. Because for me, it just feels like she handled it. It's over. I know how men are. You might start to get in your head about, okay, why was he this comfortable to send you this? And it's not fair to her. But if it happens again, like that's why I would tell my lady, if he finds a way to come back around, now I think you got to get your guy involved.
Oh, if he comes back around in any way, I said you better get the wife on the line. You better tell his wife ASAP.
That's going to be the question that I have later on, but it has to do with the fiance. In this case, I'm telling the husband.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm absolutely.
So 2 transparents, 1 not transparent.
You got it.
Okay, 2 out of 3.
All right.
The Bert Show.